Okay. I apologize for the wait. We got out of closed session late. Thank you. I apologize for starting the meeting a little late. We got out of closed session a little later than we anticipated. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first thing on the agenda is the middle school and high school presentation, so I'll hand it over to Mr. John Lawler.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Good evening, members of the Board of Education and our community. I'm pleased to report that we had a very positive opening to the 2015-16 school year, which was capped last night by a fantastic turnout at our back-to-school night program. Prior to the opportunities that the parents had to go around and meet their students' teachers, we had a little presentation in the auditorium to talk about some of the positive changes that have been happening since last year and carried into this year, and some of the great things we have to look ahead to. Prior to our student presentation, I'd like just to brief the board about an issue that was discussed last year in committee, which was resolving our scheduling issues and logistics and operations. So over last year and into the summer, our leadership team, along with the help of our counseling department, we resolved a lot of the issues that came up from our schedule last year. I mean, when we walked into September last year, it was a little crazy. We had essentially we have two schools under one roof here. We had two different time schedules, and as we start to see our school become more and more merged, where our staff members are crossing over and teaching at both levels, it became very difficult to carry that out. And you can see what we did. We lined up our middle and high school together, so everyone starts at the same time, and everybody ends at the same time, and all the periods are lined up in between. And really what that helped us do is to facilitate the crossover in staffing. So as you see, we have now 17 of our 62 staff members teach at both the middle and high school level. You kind of see how that plays out in tonight's presentation. One of our issues last year was we had one PE class for middle school. So that's 300 kids in one pay period. You just imagine now what happens when you put 300 12 and 13-year-olds into one space. So that was a priority that we made over the course of this schedule revision, and we ended up building out 3 middle school PE periods. So our middle school students now have first, fourth, and eighth period. We now have 3 high school lunch periods, 2 middle school lunch periods, and what that does is build out flexibility. So you have middle school students some part of the day going to lunch while other kids are taking academics, while others are in the gym classes. So we really made a concerted effort to improve these operations. Our media center is now accessible during lunch period. So students who, after they eat lunch and they want to catch up on some of their homework or get into a different type of environment, use our new computer lab back here, can get a pass and come down to the media center during lunch. We've also added entirely new levels of special education services, which is fantastic. We have in-class resource for 9th grade language arts. We have a BD program. We have a consult model for all 9 through 12 and all the academic subjects. And we did all of this by adding a single staff member. So we did that by making our operations more efficient. I'm really proud of that. All the work that our vice principals and our guidance department did to do this. The biggest dividend of it was reducing class sizes by increasing our numbers of sections in our academics. You can clearly see from last year to this year, our average class sizes in the 4 core academic subjects in the middle school particularly all dropped under 20. And that is a great selling point that we can say to our community that these are, you can go to private schools and you're not going to see that type of class sizes. And what does that do? It gives your child more individual attention. It helps with classroom management issues when you have fewer kids, per teacher. And across the board, it's a very positive addition to our programs. In our high school, we held fast with it, but the biggest difference is in our social studies, where we brought 2 of our middle school teachers to teach high school sections, and by doing so, we were able to drop the class sizes for our history department. Now, last night we talked a lot about the increase in our AP programs, and this is a slide I just showed the Board of Education last year. I just wanted to put it up again. As we improve our college and career readiness over the last 3 years, you can see, from 3 years ago, we had 56 students enrolled in advanced placement courses. To this current year, we're now at 126 students, so more than double the amount of students in these AP courses. And we don't just throw the doors open and just say, everyone, come on in. It's still very rigorous. But we did by adding more selections and more courses and more options for our students. This year, our new courses are AP World History, the AP Spanish Language and Culture, and the AP Environmental Science. And again, on paper here, it just looks like numbers, and our presentation for our high school tonight is to really make these numbers come to life. And we have a great host of student representatives from different courses to tell you more about it. Our results, we're continuing to build on our success, so you can see what the AP exam from last year from our language arts program. So that's the 11th grade English. We had 13 of the kids who participated take the actual exam, and 10 of those scored on a 5-point scale, either 3 or 4 or 5. Those are great numbers. And the 12th graders, same thing. With Mr. Garvey, who teaches both. All 13 kids took the exam, and of those 10 scored at 3, 4, or 5. And what that does is open the door for those students to apply to get college credit. So if they score, in many cases, 3 to 5 on these AP exams, colleges will accept these as credits. Our AP US History program is outstanding. We have a representative from there, Mr. Sheldon's class. All 7 kids took it last year. 6 of those scored a 3, 4, or 5. And finally, of course, for our AP Studio Art, we had 2 students this year. We actually had 9 students enrolled in the program, which is great, so it's growing. And those 2 students did score 4 or 5 on the AP exam. And what we've done is put in place measures to make sure that we see the success across the board in all disciplines. We sent 4 teachers out last summer for professional development with the College Board. We spent a week and did intense training. We put in place policies to ensure that students make the commitment that if they're in the class, they commit to take the actual exam at the end to earn those AP graded GPAs. So we're really trying to see this type of success across all our disciplines. Oh, and that's the presentation. So we have representatives from each of the courses, starting first with the AP World History, which is unique in the sense that it's being offered to freshmen. So now students don't have to wait until they get to grades 11 or 12 to take an AP course. They can take it right off the bat when they get into the high school. So it's a real drawing point to encourage our students to go from our middle school and stay with it to go to our high school. And to speak about AP World History is Anush Patel. So Anush.
Hard work, dedication, strength, and honor are characteristics that students in Southwood Middle School and high school have. But there are a few students out there. There are some that work harder, non-stop, that are driven, and put forth extra effort to exceed their limits and maximize their potential. Those students are in Mr. Pellegrini's AP World History class. This specialized class is the first AP course freshmen were able to take. We have a small but bright group of students that are ready to be challenged, stretched, and humbled by not only the depth of the content and required skill, but also the pace of the course. Over the summer, we learned a book called The History of the World in 6 Classes. This book taught us how 6 man-made beverages impacted our world and shaped our culture on how we live today. Besides the book, we also learned different time periods and civilizations, such as the Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age, Neolithic Age, Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, ancient China, and Indus Valley River civilization. On top of that, we really learned the importance of becoming independent learners. Even though our classes, we worked really hard on them when we first got there and until the bell rings, we realized that a lot of what we need to learn is down on our own and while reading and analyzing primary and secondary sources at home. I know what you're thinking. We only had to be in school for 8 days. How are you already passed so many lessons in a short amount of time? I myself, the first time I joined, didn't think I was going to be able to finish all this. But it's not about how much you finish or how fast of a time you take, it's how much you really understand about it. And that's what Mr. Pellegrini really emphasizes. We could be like any ordinary class and just read a chapter and do the lesson questions at the end, but we do far more. We make design graphs and make timelines. After topics, we go into small groups and presentations and become teachers and teach the rest of the class about our topic. We debate and do intellectual discussions on primary documents to show our point of view to others. We also make movie trailers on our civilizations we learned. While doing these activities and interacting with everyone, we really have a fun time and want to learn more about the field. And while doing all this, Mr. Pellegrini took the time to make more of a suitable way to learn while giving us what we need for the upcoming AP exam. To me, this class was really different. It's something I was never used to. But I'm glad I took the class this year and enrolled in the active learning environment, which helped me in the long run. Not only have I learned time management skills from this, but I also learned the joy of learning new things, having the passion to know more, and most importantly, anything is possible. These lessons and skills will not only help me pass this course, high school, but also will help me achieve my goals and be successful in a competitive future global economy. I would like to thank Mr. Lawler and the Board of Education for giving me the opportunity to speak on my behalf and my classmates and my teacher, and thank you. Have a great night.
All right, so also from our history department is we have a U.S. history course for advanced placement. It's taught by Mr. Sheldon. You can see the results from 2010 to 15. It's one of our premier programs, one of our premier faculty members. Mr. Sheldon actually went out last June to the AP Institute where they actually grade all of those exams. And I think over the course of the week, he graded over 1,000 AP exams that were taken by students across the country. And why, who would actually want to do that? But what's great about it is that now he brings the knowledge of what the examiners and what the graders are looking for, and he can now share that with our students. So it gives them a unique perspective of what the actual assessments and how they're going to be graded. So to tell us more about Mr. Sheldon's AP class is Tony Shabazzi.
Hello everybody, my name is Tony Shabazzi and I'm representing AP US History for Mr. Sheldon's class. And I've taken this course for 2 years and we divided it up from the colonial period to Reconstruction and then from Reconstruction all the way to modern era, like recently. I learned many things throughout this course. Mr. Sheldon taught us a lot about organization skills. He taught us how to interpret information better and read it between the lines and think about how events shape the American history. We learned about people and policies, and how they affect America. And he teaches us the way we want to learn. We're very interested in a certain topic. Mr. Sheldon elaborates on that, and he won't go ahead unless we're completely ready to move on. So this course really did help me prepare for college. Because it helped my organization skills, my time management. I learned how to interpret information better, like I said previously. And I think it's really good that we're expanding the AP program to more people because these classes really do help. And in college, things are going to be harder than they are here in high school. I ended up receiving a 4 on the test, and we ended up saving a good amount of money, and I got credits towards college. So I think this is a really good program for everyone to learn. Mr. Sheldon's a fantastic teacher. He does a great job helping everyone. And thank you for having me.
Also within the humanities, we offer AP courses for grades 11 and 12. They're taught by Mr. Garvey. And to present on behalf of the AP English program is Lex Booth.
My name is Alexa Buffy, and I'm here to represent for English, Literature, and Language. In AP Language, it's basically for 11th graders, and you're taught a whole new style of writing than what you're used to in elementary school. At first, it was kind of scary because you're learning something completely different, and it's all about time consuming. You have to compose 3 short essays in a short amount of time, which they consist of argumentation, rhetorical analysis, argumentation, and synthesis. And basically, you're analyzing each section of the writing and trying to pull out strategies and different styles and how to present an argument that is concise and to the point. And basically, going from honors English into the AP, it was a very quick transition because you're able to keep up with the pace and understand it in a completely new light. You read a lot of novels. You focus more on nonfiction, primarily Great Gatsby, The Glass Menagerie, and there's a couple really great works of writing. Then as we moved on to AP Literature, which is currently what most 12th graders take, the class has doubled in size, which is awesome. So really, you have time for your teacher to take on you and then interact with your peers and classmates. And it focuses more on fiction novels. The 3 essays on the exam are poetry, prose, and open-ended response. So again, you're still taking the writing and trying to prove your case and be concise and straight to the point, because it really helps you in college. You do get college credit as long as you score well in the exam. And Mr. Garvin prepared us a lot for college because, especially now, he's going to teach us more about the college application process and how to do well on our essays. So it's very something that's successful, and especially on my peers, I know that they thought it was too. So it's a very wonderful class, and I'm very happy that I took it because Mr. Garvin is a wonderful teacher.
In addition to our programs in the humanities, we offer a host of courses in the sciences. And another one of our new courses this year is AP Environmental Science. And to represent Mrs. Tepesky's class, we have 4 students. It's Janet, Victoria, Gladys, and Nicole. The ladies, please come up.
This is Environmental Sciences first year. Our teacher is Ms. Tempesta. I feel as though she's doing a great job for only being a first year course. Over the summer, we're giving work that covered a wide variety of topics such as biochemical cycles, laws, and current news covering environmental science. You might be wondering why environmental science is important. Environmental science is an extremely relevant and crucial part of today's society. With climate changing and many species becoming endangered, such as the black rhino and the tiger, environmental science is a great field to get involved. From environmental engineering to research, the opportunities are endless. Being that the course is advanced placement, it does have its challenges and should be taken seriously. Even though the course just started, I can already tell I'm learning a lot, and I can see the benefits already. It is the student's future, so why not make it great?
Good afternoon, my name is Gladys Phillip. Environmental science is evident in our daily lives. The environment especially is something not only affects us, but also concerns us. It influences our behavior, our interactions, our overall well-being, and our attitude. It has a psychological impact that we often neglect. Therefore, we as humans have a duty to protect and preserve the environment in which we inhabit. A lack of concern and a lack of action also increases the prevalence of already existing detrimental effects the world has undergone due to human activities. Therefore, environmental science teaches students about the complexities of the world we live in and how it has altered since our existence. Ultimately, students are able to consider their impact on the world and perhaps modify their practices to create a more safer and secure environment which we all can. My name is Nicole Wilkes, and an important part of environmental science that is less prominent is its emphasis on human violations as well as how it affects laws and interactions between countries. For example, we had a homework assignment which showed us how the environment played a role in the Syrian conflict, and it showed that actually a drought helped facilitated how the conflicts between the people in the region, how water distribution became a problem because of climate change. In this class, we were hoping to learn and expand on the fact that the environmental science is not just about the environment.
Hello everyone, my name is Janet Bernier, and although the class just started, we have learned so much because it is a quick pace. So far we learned about ecological footprint and Earth overshot day. Ecological footprint is basically the amount of acres us individually take up, and Earth overshoot day is well, this year it landed on August 15th, which is the day when Earth or humans use up all of its resources for the year, and we already reached the maximum. We maxed out all of our resources, and we did a project in class where we measured our ecological footprint, and we found that a lot of us use a lot of Earth. I, for example, use 4.9 acres of Earth, which is a lot, and we also found out ways where we can reduce our ecological footprint, such as eating more locally grown foods and using energy efficient substances such as solar panels. Environmental science open our eyes to the damage we're doing to the environment, but also provide us with solutions and ways we can alter our lives to make it better and sustain our lifestyle.
Thank you, ladies. Also for science, we have a representative, Carissa Quigley, to tell us more about the AP Biology program, which is taught by Kim Salmon.
Hello everyone, I'm Carissa. AP Bio, I would say, is the most rigorous course so far that I've taken. And why it is because it combines 2 college semesters of biology all into 1 year of high school. And we do 25% of our class time is dedicated just to labs. Right now we're working on evolution and natural selection. So the picture here, we're doing a brine shrimp lab in which we test the packing viability of brine shrimp compared to the surroundings. One of the interesting things about this lab, and I'm pretty sure more labs to come, is that we get to design our own labs and test out what really we think we want to do. So right now I'm testing sunlight and how that would affect the brine shrimp hatching. I take this class because I want to be a bio major myself, and although maybe taking testing will get me out of biology in college, I still have so much information behind my back that I've learned here, so that way I'm not stressing out when I get to college already. And there's hundreds of careers that I have printed out that require biology, so it's really important around the entire career field, whichever you're going to. Personally, I want to become an occupational therapist, and I'm going to need to have a good background in biology for that. And so far, it's been a lot of fun, and Selma's a great teacher, and yeah.
Yeah, we also offer a new program, or it's actually a program that has a little history behind it that started about 5 years ago. And for the first time, our cohort of students that started taking Spanish in middle school will be sitting for the AP Spanish Language and Culture program. We have RJ, Oliver, and Shrey to present for this honors.
Hola, me llamo Oliver. ¿Cómo estás? Yo soy un estudiante en el programa de AP. Yo soy uno de los estudiantes originales que empezó en el programa en el 8º grado para que tenga 5 años estudiando en español formalmente para el examen. El examen no es de la gramática ni el vocabulario en español, sino sobre temas que incluyen la historia, la vida, los políticos y las ciencias, etc. Es casi igual al examen del inglés, pero en español. Señora Hans solamente habla con nosotros en español y podemos contestarla solamente en español también. Practicamos para el examen todos los días, pero de una manera creativa. Por ejemplo, hoy en clase pretendemos ser candidatos para el presidente de los Estados Unidos y hablar sobre la inmigración. Somos la primera clase en toda la historia de speeches tomar la clase y el examen de AP Español. Vamos a disfrutar este año de AP. Quiero decir gracias al Board of Education por esta actividad.
I don't speak Spanish, I'm going to translate that in a minute. My name's RJ, so yeah, I've been with them since I was in 8th grade. So what Oliver said was, hey, how are you? There's more, I promise. I'm a student in the Spanish AP program. I am one of the original students who began in 8th grade to have 5 years of formal Spanish preparation for this exam. This test is not about grammar nor vocabulary, but rather covers topics such as history, contemporary life, politics, and science, etc. It is almost the same as English AP, but in Spanish. Mrs. Hans only speaks in Spanish to us, and we can only respond in Spanish all the time. We practice the exam every day, but in creative ways. For example, today in class, we pretended we are running for the President of the United States and to prepare a speech for a news interview about immigration. We are the first class ever in history of SPHS to take this class and this exam, and we are looking forward to a great year. I would like to thank the Board of Education for giving us this opportunity.
This course was offered to us when we were in middle school. We were 8th graders, and the middle school told us that we could take a high school course starting in 8th grade for freshmen, for freshman year, for 12 kids. And we decided to take this, and a lot of our classmates decided to leave the class after they filled the 2-year requirement. Many of us, or just like a handful of us, decided to stay until senior year. Not only because it looks good for college, it's good for getting credits and saving your parents some money. It gives us a worldly perspective on how we interact with people. Spanish is the 2nd most spoken language in our country, so I think it's important to know what almost 33% of our population speaks. Also, like I said, worldly perspective. If you want to go on vacation, would you like to know what they're trying to say? You want to be more interactive. Have your kids be able to connect with other people rather than just knowing English, like compared to what we learned in other EP classes. Like we said, this is our first class. We're the first group of kids to try this out, so we hope we're going to pass this test. But it definitely is an experience worth taking. So thank you very much for having us.
course represented here tonight is our AP Studio Art program, and that is Erin Gallo and Dan Curtis.
Hi, I'm Erin. AP Studio Art is a program that's been running at Southbrook for 3 years now. 3 years ago, we had 2 students. Like last year, we also had 2 students. But this year, the class grew to 9 students. But you can really just see the growth of the program. It's really getting there. You can take photo for 3 years. You start out with photo 1, and then you go to advanced photo, and then you make it here to AP photo. Chris can tell you more about her skills.
Okay, so we learn a lot through photography, and coming in, this is my 3rd year as a photo student, and coming in, most people really didn't know much. I mean, right now, people say, oh, I take a picture on my cell phone, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm a photographer. But Ms. Pritchard really taught us how to really make our photos into art, and by a lot of Photoshop and perspectives, and how to make a picture worth like 1,000 words. Like you see up here, some examples of a student last year who took a photo, and they were in advanced photo for 2 years. So basically, yeah.
For college, you might wonder how this could help us. I think personally, it gives you a background of creative thinking once you get there, thinking outside the box. It gives you a lot of different perspectives, help you in college, and then it can save you a lot of money if you go on the class.
Thank you very much. I would just like to say that on behalf of our leadership team, and our faculty, and the community, we are so proud of you for taking on this challenge of these AP courses. We know how difficult they are, how much of a commitment it takes, and your time and energy, and we're behind you 100%. We wish you the best of luck throughout the year and success on the exam. So please give them another. All right, we're going to switch gears now to the middle school, and instead of focusing on academics, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the school private initiatives that we have for our middle school. And to tell you a little bit more about that is our middle school vice principal, Mrs. Coffey, to tell you a little bit about the 7th grade orientation that we hosted a couple weeks ago. Mrs. Coffey.
Family, friends. I'm very excited tonight to talk to you about our orientation that we had for the very first time this year. It's my understanding we for the very first time. They left already. I was going to say the high school students helped us out with the orientation. We were very lucky to have the PTO there to help us and support us. We had sign-ups. We had a tremendous showing. I would say probably almost all of our students showed up, and we had parent workshops that went on at the same time. As you can see, they had great icebreakers. They had a wonderful time. They got acclimated to their schedules, their lockers. We had a parent portal workshop for the parents. They got to sign up for PTO. They got to learn a little bit more about the school and just what we're about and get to meet people. And I think that's the most important part for our incoming students and parents. Everybody's a little nervous, a little excited. I know my daughter as well is going into her first year in middle school. They start 5th grade, so you can only imagine how she was feeling. So not only was I doing it for your children, but for my own as well. So she was going through the same things. Locker issues, worried about the combination. And I think it really helped to alleviate some of the stress and anxiety that the parents and the students were feeling. So our students are here tonight, 7th grade students that were at the experience and that have been here in the middle school now. And I was told that I am not going to introduce them, they're going to introduce themselves. So they really prepared for this, so I'm very proud of them. And I just want to talk to you about their experience. So, Kyle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kyle Guterres, and I'm here with some of my classmates, Bianca, Brendan, Dev, and Brandon. And we're here to talk about our experience of 7th grade's first week. Now, personally, I'm going to talk to you about something that I was concerned about over the summer and how it turned out. So, I was really worried about getting to class on time and my locker combination because I'm new to that. Because in elementary school, we just had our desks. But in the orientation, they taught us our locker combination and they got us familiar with it. But I still was struggling a bit. But when I got home, I practiced a bit more, and then it became nothing. And now I'm early to class every day, prepared and ready. Yeah.
A big thing the staff did to help us was set up this wonderful 7th grade orientation for us. During the orientation, we got to meet some of our new teachers and classmates.
we got to see and we got to open our locker, we got to see what it was in the school, and we got to take a tour of the school so we knew where all of our classes were through our schedule. It helped us because on the first day of school we weren't late or as nervous. And we didn't have to worry about the locker, and we had an idea of who everybody was. And I think the staff did a great job with that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brendan, and I'm going to tell you how I like changing classes. With changing classes, you get to see other people every about hour or so, and you get to see new people, and you get a variety of teachers, so you don't have one teacher all day, and you get to move around a little bit more, and you get to in the hallways you can talk to your friends before class, and I have to get used to going up and down the stairs because I have a few classes down here, and we have only 3 minutes between classes, so I have to get used to going there in a short amount of time and getting all my stuff before all my classes.
Something that really surprised me about second grade is how close all the houses were. They were all in the one hallway, so I didn't have to worry about traveling. I showed up early for all my classes unless I had to get in my locker, and I learned that I wouldn't be late unless my class was downstairs. What I liked about the orientation was that we had a lot of fun activities too. We got to learn a lot of other people's names from all the other schools, and learning those activities, we got to have fun and get to go out and make friends at the same time. I would like to thank Ms. Coffey and Mr. Lawler for that experience. And also during the orientation, I really enjoyed doing the locker, which on the first day I had a little bit of toughness, but I felt more confident about opening the locker. And what I was also asked to tell you about was the stuff that I didn't know about 7th grade before school was how chaotic the hallways were and how hard my classes were. What some of the staff or some of my friends showed me was shortcuts to my classes and how to act in classes.
So that's all we've prepared for you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. And thank you.
Did you enjoy tonight? Yes, I did. Thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you again for inviting us out to these presentations. We look forward to seeing you again in February. And again, please, these are open doors. We hope you come in, visit our schools, and all the great things that are happening in the middle of high schools. Thank you again.
Thank you to all of you, especially to our students for presenting and Mr. Lawler for choosing these topics of our AP courses and the orientation. We talk about them so much as adults in our committees and in our planning and at the board level, and we think they're great and talk about them that way, but it's for us, it's really, we appreciate hearing from you, the students, on, the value in these activities, and of course our high school students are gone already. But the value for you, they're studying at home for their AP courses, I guess. But the value of those courses to hear directly from them to us is terrific. So thank you for organizing it. And all our 7th graders, thank you for being here tonight and sharing with us your experience.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate all of you, and you did an excellent job, and I hope you all have a fabulous school year. Yeah. All right, well, thank you. At this time, I would like to open the meeting, or a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only. So, second. We didn't pick it up.
It's right here, Steve.
No, I'll leave the big print. Residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears that the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by the participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and be aware they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak?
Right here? Right here?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue. And I'm sorry and apologize for missing the last meeting before the summer break. But I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, and unfortunately the chairman is not here, or the president. I'm embarrassed of the administration for allowing to make a charade out of these meetings, a cheerleading contest. How can you allow, and especially superintendent and business administrator, that getting paid together a combined salary of over $250,000, who are self-paid, and all that?
This is, just to make sure it's for agenda items only at this time?
Well, items only, of course, it's gonna go because I'm gonna talk about the cafeteria.
Okay, if you would just,
These got to do with that, because last time I was here, and you part of the problem is the thing, so let me speak. So, I was here last time, and you allow the public to just clap and just say whatever they want. That doesn't bother me, that's not gonna stop me. From, excuse me, from speaking on my mind, on a resident, and if you want me to bring people just to clap, on my favor or not, I can do the same. So whenever you say on the agenda only, I can do that too. But you gotta be respectful in order for me to be respectful. But whenever you have relatives or employees of the school system clapping right here like clowns, I will not allow that. That's not gonna stop me from just bringing what is right and what is wrong. And I've been saying throughout the year that we need some changes. And the Board of Education member has been elected by the residents. These two employees right here specifically, business administrator and superintendent, has not been elected. They're just employees that have to report back to you on every single thing that is going on in this district. Shame on you for not questioning why the grades are one of the slappiest in the state of New Jersey. I'm embarrassed by just being promised every year that a change will happen, and nothing happened. Questions have been brought forward, and no answers have been given me yet. Why should I have to keep on bringing up questions when actually you never got answers, so you just covering to yourselves? It's an embarrassment that most of you know that this school district is employing people that should not be employed because of conflict of interest. And when the reports are being asked, no reports have been provided. You know what the answer is?
Who's doing the landscaping? Oh, it's not too much money. We cannot put that in the report. And you know what? That's an item on the agenda because it relates to the budget. And every cent, every penny out of the budget is part of the agenda. That's when I'm frustrated, that every time that we bring something, Board of Education members have to rely on these two employees that are incompetent. And I can say in capital letters, incompetent. Why they're incompetent? Because how could it be that throughout the year, that parents have been claiming that the cafeteria, that the provider of the food is not providing a good service? How come it hasn't been discussed throughout the year? Why it has been waited until the end of the school year just to say, gee, we have a problem with the company that is providing the lunches. Gee, what can we do about that? Then when the Board of Ed members decide to change the company, what was the response from these two incompetent people? We cannot do that now, it's too late. We can't change it. Because if we changed it, we might not have a vendor. No! Come on, it's time to wake up. We are losing our time in administrative expenses, administrative details. How could it be that people do not punch in and punch out? How could it be that we are paying the cell phone bills of people that are making tons of money out of this school district? But in the meantime, our scores are not going any higher. We are worse than ever. We are on the top, starting from the bottom. How's that? We are in 350 out of what? 420, 435 districts? Because all 566 municipalities don't have a school systems, all of that. Therefore, I just want to close on saying something. The school members got to realize something. It doesn't matter if you don't have a penny. You still can bring that person on charges, not just for incompetence, but for not providing with information that it belongs to the Board of Ed members. Remember, all of you, you were elected for the people, by the people, and you should not stop and question these two employees on providing you all kind of elements that you need before you make up your decision in order to vote. Because now comes November, and we're going to remember what Mr. Quinn has done all this time, just on being a rubber stamp for these two individuals. And we are not going to tolerate that. So I just want to say, before saying good night, no matter what you say, you can pat in the back, you can say, oh, the big job or great job that you're doing, but wake up, smell the coffee. We are one of the worst school districts in the state of New Jersey. And until you don't put me in the top 50 or even in the top 100, I will not stop on coming here. Because the school district is one of the biggest spenders on taxes. And instead of spending money on the pockets of administrators, on people that do not punch in and punch out, we should spend more money on the classrooms, more money on the kids, more money on books. The kids should have laptops instead of having books, and more money onto the teachers, but not into the pocket of administrators. Thank you very much. If anyone have any questions, I'm ready to answer any questions or any comments from anyone before I leave. Thank you all and have a good night.
Any other members of the public wish to be heard? Thank you.
Hi, Lisa Mackin, 583 Elm Avenue in Saddlebrook. Normally, I do not like to get up here, and I'm not going to sit here and start a war with anybody because everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I would just like to say thank you to this Board of Ed for giving us new iPads new curriculum for any language arts, to bring up our test scores, to bring these kids where they need to go. My daughter's in this school district, and I don't like to hear, you know, maybe our grades are not, our scores are not where they're supposed to be, but we're trying to get there. If you come to our schools, if you can get permission to come and walk through the schools, you can see how they're being run. We have all brand new young administrators, a lot of brand new young teachers that are not tenured, that are trying to make a difference in this school district. And I'm proud to say that my kid goes to Saddlebrook School District. Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak prior to Ms. Rodriguez speaking again? I just want to make sure everybody has a fair chance.
In closing, you don't have to answer actively, Mr. President. Is the person that just spoke before me is employed by the Saddlebrook School District in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, I am.
I didn't ask, excuse me, through the chair.
Just, this is public comment time. We are here to listen to your
I'm
comments.
just asking
So
you a question. I'm just asking you a question, you can just answer. The person that just spoke before me is an employee of the school district currently, yes or no?
again, this is public comment time. Please speak your comments.
Mr.
We'll take it under I am not going to get into a discussion with you.
As an active president, for your understanding, if you haven't learned yet in so many years of being sitting there, for you, your role is to answer the questions of the public if you know the answer. If you don't know the answer, then you can just say, I will find out, or I will learn, or will read some more in the future to answer your question. Right now, it seems that you don't know the answer. So my question is very simple, whether you know if that person that spoke before me, it is a school employee or not. Because when you have a conflict of interest, and of course that you're looking for favoritism, you will never bless the Board of Ed. Therefore, I'm just saying that it should be some kind of policy, because all what you're just looking for, and the attorney can tell you, when you say, I'm just speaking as a parent, and I'm just speaking as a whomever, resident, is a difference when you become an employee. Because it is a conflict, because you are protecting your paycheck. You are protecting the day-to-day job that you have with the school district. My thing right here, I'm not gonna tolerate anymore in the future when some of the employees or relative of employees, like the last meeting, just stand up and just clap or just try to attack me for no reason. The only way and the only difference for all that nonsense that is going behind scenes that actually are unbelievable is for me to say, show me the numbers. And the numbers are the worst in the state of New Jersey. Ranking at the bottom of the entire state. Come on, shape up or just stay home and don't do nothing else other than watching TV at home. Thank you all.
Lisa Mackin, 583 Elm Avenue. Yes, I am an employee of the Saddlebrook School District, and I am not ashamed to say that. I came up here and spoke as a parent. I go to every parent assembly that we have in the school district. I go to every parent homework club, or whatever you want to call it, to learn how to do my child's curriculum. It has nothing to do with me working in the school. My daughter does not get any favoritism working in that school district. In fact, I make her work extra hard because I don't want her to feel like she gets specialty. And you could ask anybody in this school district how hard my child works. Has nothing to do with her mom being in the school district. Thank you.
I know I've said this before, I wasn't planning to speak, and I'm aware that this is not on the agenda. My name is Jennifer Mean, 400 East Saddlebrook Road. And no, I don't work for the school system, but I am a PTO president. I'm very involved in the school, and I see it. Not only that, but I've been an educator for 15 years, a curriculum writer for the last 10, and I'm proud to say that this curriculum that they're working with now is the best that I've seen it since my daughter, who is now in 7th grade, started first. Things that I've been begging for since my daughter was in 1st grade, pacing guides, standard-based curriculum. it's finally happening, where for the last several years, they've been kind of doing things that were from before I even graduated from college, methods of teaching. So, for someone who, I'm not even gonna go there. People who are involved in the schools, have children in the schools, see the difference. And the test scores will show in the next couple of years. Not that the school district even has those test scores yet, because they haven't been scored yet. So there are no rankings at this point for the last couple of years. Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close the meeting of the public? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Didn't see you back there.
I hate talking for the groups. My name is Celia Perry. I am a resident of Saddlebrook. I am a parent of Saddlebrook. I am a teacher in Saddlebrook. And I am very proud to be from Saddlebrook. My two daughters have attended Saddlebrook their whole education. One is now at college, doing phenomenal, on the dean's list. My other daughter is a senior. Was I proud of everything all the time? No, no one's going to be happy all the time. I am very proud of all the changes the last few years. I have seen it. We cannot look back and say, well, the kids' test scores were low. We were not doing things before that we are doing now. We have to look to the future. We can't keep looking back on the past. As far as the food service, my daughter loves the food in the school. You can't please everybody. And, you know, we need to look at the more important things and look to see where we are at now, the changes that are being made. And as far as working for the schools, I'm retired in 2 years. There's nothing anybody can do for me, so it's not going to make a difference. You know, and I will always be proud to say I work for the school system, and my kids are products of the school system.
Hi, Jessica Kern, 73 Rochelle Parkway. I just want to say thank you because all the problems that we have with Pontonian, we know that you all tried your very best. We put it out for bid again, and we know that every time we talk, you listen, and so I just want to say thank you for, especially with the Pontonian, going out of your way and trying to find a better way. And I know that meetings were called with Pontonian to work with them to fix things and change them and make them better. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting to the public. Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Mr.
opposed?
President, can I address the board? Unfortunately, the law does not permit me to invade or preclude anybody's free speech. Any member of this audience has the opportunity to come to this board, no matter how disruptive, disrespectful they are, short of profanity, short of some physical aggression. We are not able to stop them from speaking. However, I personally want to extend my apologies for the injustice that the law creates to members of your community, as well as the individuals who have been personally attacked here this evening, which include the superintendent, the business administrator, and the board president. And for that, I am truly sorry that I was not able to stop this, but again, I just wanted everybody to realize what the law provides and what it does not provide. And I do want to remind everybody who comes to the podium, although I cannot stop them, they are personally liable for any comments that they make that could rise to the level of slander or defamation. Thank you. Continue your order of business.
Thank you. We have closed the meeting to the public. We will open to the public at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items. Thank you. Before we move forward, I would just like to go on record stating that I am very proud of all of the work the board has done in the 3 years I've been on the board, all of the progress we made, the direction we're taking, and I'm very confident that in a few years' time, we will see the fruit of all the work we have been doing, and I will stand by everything we have done in the time I have been here. Moving right along, business report.
Thank you, Vice President Quinn. This evening, I ask for a motion on approval of the minutes from August and checks and financial reports for the month of July.
Motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Boofi?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli? Mr. Quinn?
Yes, except abstain from A and B.
Okay, that concludes my report.
Superintendent's report?
It's not on here, but Casper's here for a student.
Oh. Sorry, Casper.
I'm gonna keep this nice and short. I don't have any. I don't have anything to report from the elementary schools. I haven't gotten anything. However, from the middle, I'm gonna start with the middle school first. As everybody here seen, the high school has a lot of new programs, a lot of the new AP programs. However, the middle school also got some new programs. The middle school has its own art program now, which is separate from the high school. The high school is being taught by Mr. Hills, and the middle school is taught by Mr. Puma, and it's a fantastic idea. Both 7th and 8th graders have the art class. Also, there are some new improvements. The new guidance counselor for the middle school, because it's her first year here, and she started something new with the school. It's called positive behavior in school initiation. This month's theme is responsibility. So every student will be educated on responsibility, and as the school year goes on, every month there will be a new topic. And there are also in middle school in the past years, there hasn't been that many courses to prepare you for college. I mean, and even for high school. Yes, they will teach you the basics, but there isn't anything that will teach you into real life experiences. So this year, actually there are 3 additional classes that are being started. One of the STEM classes taught by Mr. Hayes, a class in humanity taught by 2 teachers, Ms. Rippis and Ms. Sharp, and a class in business taught by Mr. Weinberg. The classes are all offered to the middle schoolers, and in hopes of getting them ready even for high school, if not for the real life. All right, and that's it for the middle school. For the high school had the middle school and high school both started this month, and it's been a lot of positive things. It's been a lot of changes. Students are still getting adjusted to them, but as the school year goes on, it just goes. We have a paper rally coming up this Friday. It's for the 4 sports. The sports will be represented by both the class administration, by the class representatives, and by the team representatives. So that will be a lot of fun to look forward to. All the 4 sports already started: cross country, soccer, football, volleyball, and tennis. And we're expecting to see a lot from them. And finally, the PSAT will be administered October 14th, both the sophomores and the juniors. And that's the student report. Nice and simple.
Thank you very much, Casper.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Casper. So this is our first meeting since school opened. So the opening of school was actually very smooth. I remember on the first day of school, Mr. Lawler and I stood in the parking lot and had a conversation about how we never would have known it was the first day of school, because it was really just so smooth. And that wasn't just here; that was in all of our buildings. And I think that's a testament to the work that's done over the summer to prepare, and really just the ongoing efforts of all of our staff members. So I want to thank all of them. But it was really a very, very seamless opening. I especially want to give very, very specific recognition to the teachers at Franklin School, who started the year kind of waiting for their full-time principal, which was a difficult situation. And they really stepped up and ensured that everything ran smoothly. And she's been here a couple days here and there, and I've been over there a little bit. But the teachers at Franklin really have been very impressive with the way that they have ensured that everything was covered and running smoothly and supervised, and the way they supported each other and their students has really been quite remarkable, and that's why I'm remarking about it. So thank you to those teachers. Before that opening of school, we had 9 teachers this year had their new teacher orientation for 2 days.
Essentially, the activities were about familiarizing them with our instructional philosophies, our evaluation model, school routines and procedures. They had time together, they had time within their individual buildings, and they had time, again, to kind of bond. And they're starting off together, and so you form a little bit of a cohort and a little bit of a support group there. A lot of those teachers shared that these days helped them. For teachers who had experience in other districts, they felt that this was very helpful for them in comparison to previous experiences where they really felt they were well prepared to start the year better than they've been in the past, and that's obviously our goal with that. So, I thank all those teachers for attending, and Christine Steiner specifically, and Sonia Otero, who really spent the most time with them and the most planning and preparation in delivering kind of those activities for those 2 days. Just an update on administrative start dates. So Tony Violetti, Franklin School Principal, will officially begin on Monday, September 21st. Rob Lehman, who is the Science and Math Supervisor, will officially begin next Wednesday, September 23rd. He just notified me of that yesterday. And assuming that our personnel section tonight goes as planned, Pat Eckel will start as Principal individually on Monday, the 21st, also at Smith School, but really tomorrow with Mr. Grosso for a 2-day transition. And we'll put notification out of that later. Again, I'm just making assumptions, but we'll see. You've already met her and spoken to her. We got some park guidance from the Department of Ed that I just wanted to share. One of the things that last year was an issue, not only for us, but really every district in New Jersey, was the opt-out and test refusal, and what to do with those students. Last year, if you recall, the Department of Ed really gave no guidance and took a silent approach in the districts, just saying it's a local decision on how you want to treat those students. They definitely still left it to be a local policy or a local decision at this point, but what we did last year would be fully in line with what they're now telling us. They are saying not to have any students ever sit and stare, which we did not do. We relocated all of our students who weren't participating to a different location, which is something that is acceptable to them, as well as giving them an opportunity, if you're going to leave them in the testing site, they can read something while they're in there. But sit and stare is discouraged. Again, we did not do that, so I would anticipate this year we would just continue with the accommodations that we made last year. There's also an exemption for the park for students for ELA, for the ELA grade 11 portion of the test. Basically what that says is for any students who are taking some other type of nationally normed, nationally recognized test, they would not need to take the park ELA 11. So that would be for us the equivalent of students who were taking the AP English course. The students taking the AP exam would be exempt from that. An update on graduation requirements. Previously, the department had released graduation requirements for the classes of 2016, 17, and 18, and they announced last week that they are extending that through the class of 2019. So until that point, all the requirements that are now in place will remain for one more year, and they'll make a decision, I guess, for 2020 when they either change legislation or determine what to do or not with the park exam moving ahead into the future. At our July meeting, I talked about that we had been contacted by the department that we were eligible for reimbursement for park costs, park-related costs, through something called the Park Assessment for Secondary Education. They identified our high school as being eligible for up to $20,000. We had to submit some itemized receipts or purchases to show them what we spent on testing. A lot of it was our devices, others were in professional development, and we did find out that we will be receiving $20,000 in reimbursement for park costs. So that was something we always talk about, unfunded mandates, and there's one where obviously, well, obvious to me, you may not know this, but in the budget last year, they did provide $100 per student in order to, excuse me, $10 per student. I take it back. It was not $100 per student. It was $10 per student. And that's how they said the park was not unfunded. But now they through this program, even more money is coming in to help reimburse us for the costs associated with testing, $20,000. Over the past 2 years, there's been an Achieve NJ advisory committee that's met monthly in Trenton. And basically the department's looking for different stakeholder groups to talk about the implementation of Achieve NJ. And in this third year now, they're going to rotate educators throughout the year to come down, meet multiple times in Trenton to give feedback about input and guidance on their policy decisions related to educator evaluation. Both Jane Allen Jenkins, who's our new Long School principal, and myself received emails inviting us to participate in that. The first meeting is next week, so both of us will be able to represent our district and give feedback on what's happening here with educator evaluation, and hopefully be able to have some influence in what happens in the state as well moving forward. And then just one final item. We always talk about opportunities where we can share services with the town or have some type of collaboration between the board and the township. Actually, it's something that came through Mr. Ionella, who happens to be here. But the township reached out and to see if we'd be interested in having our football team have some time on Veterans Field, which they did. They had a couple scrimmages there. It likely, just logistically, doesn't work out for regular season games, but they did have the opportunity to scrimmage on the turf. And in return for that, we are required to do concussion testing for all of our athletes, as well as for all of our coaches, CPR, AED, and first aid training. So we were able to extend the concussion testing to the rec football program and also to the town coaches to participate in our first aid CPR training. So that was a nice partnership that we were able to have this year. I guess moving into the agenda, student services, motion for items 1 through 3.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Boothby? Yes. Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Curriculum instruction, motion for items 1 and 2.
Second.
Any discussion?
Item 1, we've been discussing for, I think, the last year. Since our CUSAC visit, these are, and we've talked about our original plan to rewrite all of our curriculum and adopt as we go, and how that was denied by the department. So this is the adoption of mostly New Jersey model curriculum, but we still are continuing with all of our plans to write our own curriculum documents. So as those committees complete that work, we will replace them one at a time, but this puts us in compliance with CUSAC and with Department of Education expectations. Number 2 is curriculum writing for 2 new courses that we've also talked about, both in committee and had meetings here last year.
Any questions? Roll call?
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Boothby? Yes. Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Okay, Business Board, motion for items 1 through 8.
Before you take a motion there, just on
sorry.
C1, just to revisions, ID number 14 and number 20 will be removed. So you'll be acting when you take the motion, removing items ID 14 and 20 of C1.
Any discussion?
Just to kind of go through those and give an explanation for a few of those items. Number 3 is a contract we have every year, suspension alternative program. These are for students who are either out on long-term suspensions or repeated suspensions, and rather than sitting at home, they're able to go to this program and receive academic programming, academic services. Number 4 is an agreement that we're required to sign each year between ourselves and local law enforcement that essentially says we're going to cooperate with each other in any situations where that would be necessary. Number 7, again, is required trainings and also for vaccinations. This is a partnership that we do have every year where they help us meet these requirements. Number 8 is an annual appointment that we do as part of the organization. This position was previously held or fulfilled by Sal Kuzmano. So with his retirement, Dave Delbert, thank you, Dave, is taking over this role.
Any questions on the board?
Through the chair on number 8, is that a stipend position?
No, it is not.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Braley?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Yes. Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Canipico?
Right, I'm sorry, what section?
Yeah. Oh, it's C one
Bu-
through,
business.
1 through what?
Oh, 1 through 8, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes.
We go back to mine, actually, I'm sorry.
oh, yeah,
For
that's
C,
right,
you
guys
said,
have
business
to-
and board?
Yeah, this is C1.
Yes.
so you have to-
I'll be abstaining from number 15, and as well as number 4.
Mr. Singh?
Yes, but I will be abstaining from item 1, number 22. Yes to everything else.
Mrs. Ottaveli?
Yes, with abstaining to 123.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes, with abstaining from item 1, ID number 19.
Personnel motion for items 1 through 9.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just one, in that motion, just one change in number 4, the effective date would be tomorrow, September 17th, as opposed to September 2nd. And then, 2 items that I would like to talk about. The first one is number 1, the retirement of Cindy Verost, who is our vocal music teacher. Cindy has been here for 21 years and is, as we talked about as a board earlier tonight, was the student of the person who the auditorium is named after, so it's really been kind of a program passed down for much more than the 21 years that Cindy has been here. But when you think about her and her programs, I think some of the things that stand out are the inclusiveness of her program. And you watch the students performing, and you see students of all ability levels and all types of backgrounds succeeding, feeling welcome and feeling successful. And that's something that you don't see very many teachers who are able to reach students in that personal way that she's been able to. So you definitely will miss that. And her connections with the alumni too, right? At the end of every concert, there's always the alumni songs, and so that's something that obviously we would hope would continue, and that she'd be a part of that now. Alumni chorus would be our hope. And a big honor for her actually this year. She was selected to conduct Bergen County High School Festival Chorus, and that's it's not an honor that they take lightly, and they chose her for that. So in her last year, that's something that she'll be doing, and she should be very proud of. Number 3 is the appointment of our interim principal at Smith School, Pat Eckel, who's here tonight with us. Just to give you a little bit of background about Pat, she spent her entire career in the Westwood School District, first as a math teacher, and then as an administrator at all levels, pre-K through 12, vice principal, had an involvement in special education, elementary principal, junior high principal, director of preschool, and then as an interim as a principal again, and as an interim health director of curriculum. And so when you look for somebody who can, to understand building level leadership and instructional leadership, Pat is somebody who has certainly been proven in every area, and should be able to make a seamless transition to Smith and continue Smith School, continue to have the standards that exist there now, and not just, the concern always with an interim is, well, it's an interim and it's a placeholder, and I don't think that'll be the case at all. And I reached out to a few people who've known Pat for a long time, and initial reactions are things like, awesome, she's the best, can't go wrong. I'll tell you later who those people are. But to a person, every single one of them, the same reaction. So I think we're fortunate to have her here. So if there's any questions on any other item.
I do need to interrupt because I was under the impression that we were doing C items, the ID 1 through 8, not items 1 through 8. So when I voted yes for section C, I thought I was voting ID 1 through 8. It's really yes to all of section C, with the exception of ID number 21. I abstain from that. I just want that on the record.
21, your workshop.
21, yes.
Yeah, I have to abstain from
And I just
13.
want to comment on my vote for field trips under number 2, and then number 6 under that. Although I vote yes for the trip, I just want it noted, and not just for cheerleading, for any out-of-district day trip, overnight trip. I know typically permission slips are handed out. I do not recall, or I'm not under the impression that the overnight trips for these have permission slips. The other thing that I want noted is that any parent that attends these out-of-state trips are doing so as a fan and not a chaperone. I think they need to have outlines what their boundaries are as far as what they can and cannot do with our students. Our coaches should be in total control of these trips of our students. And again, I vote yes for the trip, with the notion that these changes are going to either evolve this year, and that will be in place for any overnight trip that any of our students take this year, and if parents go on them or not. Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment on that. Ideally, the coach, or whoever the coach is, or the chaperone, just want to make sure that whatever changes, I didn't see if there was a reference for that, but that the permission slips are, the coaches are in charge, and then the chaperones report to the coach, like a chain of command. Just want to make a comment on that.
Okay, right now there's a motion on the table for personnel items 1 through 9.
Second.
Well, that was already moved and we had our discussion, so if there's no further discussion on personnel.
Take a roll call.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Scanapico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Congratulations, Pat.
Welcome. We hope you have a great year. We're looking forward to great things from you after all of the reports we've heard about your wonderful work. And I hope you have a great year as well with being here in Saddlebrook.
Thank you, I'm looking forward to it.
That's it.
Do you have any committee reports for tonight?
We're working on getting together a policy, a date for a policy meeting, which hopefully will hold within the next 2 weeks, and then I'll have a report for the October meeting.
Thank you.
Actually, I have buildings and grounds. We met today, cafeteria. We actually met with Pomptonian today. Just to reiterate, they've been in business, a family business, since 1960. They serve 95 districts in our area. They make 215,000 student daily meals daily. I don't know if you know, but they brought back regular pizza, so the kids are happy. No more whole grain. They got new fruits, the farm stand tables that retract lower so the little kids could see in there, so they can know what they're grabbing. There's a Village Fresh program where a chef prepares, and it's, what do you say, like the muscle of the chicken, where it's the real chicken, and it's only like an extra $1. And in Smith School, the entire cafeteria staff, I think, has changed to accommodate demand for proper service. And as far as grant, we have a donation. Can I bring that up? Or we got a donation from a resident of 7 pumps, some pumps, I guess. They cut down some trees in the parking lot here to open it up more. And that's about it. I didn't want to bring, do you want me to? Yeah. And that's about it. Went really good. At the meeting was myself, Mr. Singh, Ms. Sanchez, Mr. Garrick, Mr. Dr. Katz and Mr. Karati. Thank you.
Anything from the Curriculum, Instruction, and Technology Committee? Thank you. On negotiations, negotiations with the Maintenance and Custodial Group are going very well. We had a meeting the end of last month. Our next meeting will be the end of this month. I think both sides are very optimistic that we will be able to reach agreement within a couple more meetings. Nothing to report on the negotiations with the teachers at this time. Correspondence. You ready?
Yeah, I'll speak about that. Correspondence received, it's a letter from our auditors, for our upcoming annual audit, which will take place sometime in the month of November. The report is due to the state by December 5th. And it's their responsibilities under generally accepted auditing standards, government auditing standards, and those circulars listed that they communicate with you. And if you have any concerns or issues, you could direct them, I guess, to the president, Dave Garrick, and then he can reach out to the auditors. Just had to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. Any old business?
I forgot to mention today in closed session, so the next time we go in closed session, whenever that will be, I would like to talk about what a student MW wrote to us. All board members got a copy dated June 22nd, 2015.
Thank you. Any other old business, anyone? New business. I would just like to thank everyone in the school district for a very smooth opening. It seems to be going very well, and thank everyone involved. Particularly, I want to thank the maintenance and custodians who had to do kind of double work considering all the construction that was going around them in almost every school. Not only did they do their normal work, but were busy cleaning up behind the outside contractors as well. From what I have seen, the schools look beautiful. So I'd like to thank them for their work and everyone else for just a great start of the school year.
If I could, through the chair, thank the administrators in the back there. I know you guys only get paid 40 hours a week, but you're here a hell of a lot longer than that today. And thank you for that, for your volunteering your time. Appreciate it.
Any other new business? Okay. Motion to open the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Just say we're in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Residents are requested to state their names, address, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered, and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility nor will be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Anyone like to be heard?
The rules on all schools, are you all done? Can somebody answer me that?
The board responds at the end.
I want to know if both schools are done, and why not? Kids are in the school. That's number one. There was a scare between the middle school and the high school of gas leak. Why? Are we hiring qualified workers, doing the booths, doing whatever's going on? Do these workers get checked? Do they get checked? Does anybody know? That's it.
275 Madison Avenue. And that's what I mean, Mrs. Attorney, for the competence. We have two individuals right here that are getting paid high salaries. How can they not answer simple questions like a prior speaker just questioned? The people got the right to know, the residents got the right to question, and that's what the employees are here. If they don't know what's going on their own house, they should not be allowed to be kept in the school district. And I hope when a new board of ed members come in January 1st, they consider that these two individuals are not up to the task. Simple questions that they cannot answer. How can it be so simple for them to answer these questions? And that's what I call incompetence. Mrs. Attorney, as you and I are very aware of freedom of speech right here. And me and I have go head to head before. For a long time already, I brought to your attention several issues in which you have been forced to change the language in a lot of things that have been going on right here. And as you might be aware, also, like I said, the Assembly passed a bill already, which is called the SLAP bill, and it's just in the Senate to be approved for attorneys like you and a lot of attorneys in the state of New Jersey not to stop the public from making comments or questions. Because this is what it is. It's a public forum. This is the only opportunity that the people and the residents have and do to ask for questions. And I agree with the prior speakers before. When they came over here, they are parents now. Some of them, one of them was a teacher. I was a parent too, and they will be a parent too in the future. But they also have the right to come back and question, because the bigger portion of taxes are being spent by the school district. My problem is a big chunk of those monies are being spent on administrative costs and not in the classrooms. That's my problem. And I will continue coming here until that is changed. Case in point, I call incompetence that this superintendent cannot respond that if with the high salary that he got, why the taxpayers have to pay for his cell phone bill. So based on the attorney's review, they just go to the state local law and they make interpretation. They don't have to release the data on who he calls, what calls he received. Therefore, it's up to the board of ed members to create a local policy. You want a cell phone paid for by the taxpayers, then the information will be disclosed if they Oprah. We can do internally and locally. That's what is called transparency. What are they afraid of? If someone like me Oprah their account to make sure that it's not being used for private businesses, which he's entitled, but let him pay with his own money. Don't allow the taxpayers to pay for his private phone. That is my problem. What is my problem? That the teachers sacrificing the time, coming early to work, dedicating the time on the anger of some of the kids, they put a lot of attention to the kids. And they punch in and they punch out. They got hours to work. And if they don't work, or if they miss punching in or punching out, it's a penalty. They can be brought up in charges. What happened to administration? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You gotta rule by something. If you tell them to punch in and punch out, everybody should be punching in and punching out. Who knows how many hours they're working? Who tells me when they're working from home, quote unquote? How could it be that someone that comes as a supervisor of the buildings and grounds don't punch in and don't punch out? And on top of that, A stipend position is created for $20,000. Wow. If we spend the money like that, shame on them. Because the kids need those monies in the classroom. The teachers need those monies in the classroom. Mr. Quinn, not too long ago, and by the way, to some of you that don't know me, I've been a frequent in attendance to these meetings, so I know a lot of what's going on. The teachers got the desire, the heart to move forward and do what is best for the kids. But unfortunately, that curriculum is written by the people on the top. And if the people on the top don't do well, the rest will not do much better. So everything starts with administration. But going back to my point that I want to make, I question, why do we have to keep some people from punching in and punching out? But they haven't responded to me. Are we still this school year going to have the position of $20,000 that we create for the assistant superintendent? To do what? If in the past, the superintendent of building and grounds used to do everything, why now we have to have an assistant for $20,000? Why do we have to allow the assistant, well, he's not coming anymore, but in the past, coming just to support with clappings and comments, right here to, I don't take nothing as a talk because it's part of the business. But just to let the attorney know, when you read this, that everybody's subject to lawsuits or whatever, you should be careful more than anyone else when it comes to lawsuits, actually. Because whatever you're doing with me, you gotta do with anybody else. If I'm not allowed to walk into the superintendent or administrator office, that I'm prohibited from speaking to the business administrator, then everybody else will have to be the same. Otherwise, it's discrimination. I'm glad to hear tonight by Board of Ed member Acamando to hear that the food company is making some changes. But those changes should be made a long time ago. If we would have the right people negotiating at the right time, long time ago, hearing the screaming from the parents and hearing the complaints from the parents. We have to be more proactive. We shouldn't be reactive. We gotta learn how to work. And I hope that this January 1st, when new Board of Ed members are coming on board, they question the ability of individuals on top of the helm right now, because I'm very disappointed that they don't have the basics. They don't know the answers to some of the questions that are brought up right here. Closing, I just want to say, I don't know why you have done in order to change the timesheets for some of the custodians, that they were making their own timesheets in the past, and it's horrendous to see some of those saying that they work 60 or 70 hours a week in overtime, and scrolling and erasing it like a first grader. That is a shame. If you cannot take care of the house on basic things, imagine how is the rest. It's millions and millions of dollars that are under your hands and pencils. You have to take care of superintendent, this administrator, because they work for you. You don't work for them. And I just almost forget what Mr. Quinn just said a few months ago, when I posed the comment that each Board of Ed member should have a tablet to take it home and have all information that belongs to you. The Board of Ed members don't belong to them. They should have it on the tablets. And what I was told, that no, I'm not gonna take it, and we shouldn't go for it, because those monies belongs to the kids. Should be invested in the classrooms. The cost of the tablets are not more than $700, Mr. Quinn. But you are speaking from both sides of your mouth. Because back then you said that it's not good to buy the tablets. How come now you're making the taxpayers to pay for the $700 for you to go to Atlantic City? You should stop going, or you should pay out of your own pocket. Those money should be put back into the classroom. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Anyone else wish to be heard?
You're not gonna stay for answers? Again?
School district. I wish you a warm welcome. It's a good school. I'd like to thank you all for your time, and I especially like to thank those custodians who give this key and the summer that we had with outside cleaning up after all of those who are very, thank you.
Hi, Coleman Goofy, 160 Oxford Avenue. Just a question on the roof. How did 2 months ago, they got authorization to work on a Sunday? Now I'm a contractor, I can't even work on a Sunday. I'd like to know who paid for that Sunday? And payroll verification, who gets it? You guys get it? I want to know the 18 people that were here that, on that Sunday, working without no helmets. Well, I should say half of them had helmets. The other ones didn't. The 18 people that I counted, but they're not, do you have a payroll verification on those 18 people? On that 2 months ago, on a Sunday? That's it.
Kelly Mahoney, 98 General Terrace. I just wanted to talk about the bands program, the summer arts program in July. It was phenomenal, and I'm so thankful that we were able to support such a program. And it was funded by the kids in the, it was, it wasn't a board sponsored program, but you supported it. And Mr. Ortega did an amazing job running it. The kids learned so much in 5 weeks, and they had just so many programs. And after last night at the back to school night here, the addition of more arts programs and music opportunities and art opportunities for the kids, and it's just wonderful. And it's really paying off. Our marching bands in the high school, I hope that you come out to a football game and see them. They have almost doubled in size, which is great. Mr. Ortega said last night that I think it's the biggest marching band we've had in like the last 15 years. So it's just a great thing, and I think we're supporting those programs. And also, I'm really thankful that this deck is going to be at Smith School. I think it's a great thing, and having the interim was also a good idea, just because I think it'll be better transition and less chaos for the kids, having somebody there for the rest of the year to make a nice smooth transition. So thank you.
Anyone else wish to be heard?
Through the chair, I actually attended the football game and I stood at halftime. And maybe I'm a little biased, but I was there since I was in high school. I played football, and I see through the years of the halftime show. And I just gotta say, it did make very, very big, long strides, and it was wonderful. And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Ortega. He's doing a wonderful job.
If no one else to be heard, may I have a motion to close open to public session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
You have some information.
Yeah, just,
Before you answer specific questions, on September 4th, we sent out a district update to every parent in the district and posted it on the website for those people who aren't parents. On the top of page 3 of that district update is a summary of the referendum progress from the summer. I'm not going to read it to you. I don't want to be insulting and read it to you. You can read it, but I'm sorry? You asked about the referendum, correct? The roof project? I mean, if you'd like me to read it to you, I can. But okay, so like I said, this was sent out on September 4th to all parents, as well as posted on our website on that same day. It says the referendum work began the day after school ended. The 2 larger projects, the roof renovations and the toilet room renovations, started right away. These 2 contractors have had a crew working in the district since June 23rd. As with all construction projects, there were bumps in the road. The district staff has been on top of the contractor's progress and has met with the owners of each company several times throughout the summer to address issues. The roof renovations were completed August 24th. The contractor will be finishing up sealing around vents, equipment, and drain pipes. When the students return to school on September 3rd, you will see roofing material hanging over the sides of the roof areas that were renovated. The roof is safe, and the metal flashing to finish the edge should be installed by October. They would install this metal flashing in the evenings and on the weekends. The contractor will be finishing up punch list items in the next couple of weeks, so the majority of the work is completed. The 12 toilet rooms being renovated are in the final stages. All of the toilet rooms are operational for the start of school. The other project slated in year one of the referendum is the window replacements at Franklin and Smith schools. The windows have a long manufacturing time, so we knew going into the summer that this project may not get done by the time school opened. The contractor has given an approximate timetable for late September. The window replacements will take place in the evenings and weekends when the students are not in buildings. The same contractor replaced the windows in the second floor of Franklin School on evenings with no issues. In the late fall, winter, we will start to bid for the second phase of the referendum. The projects that will be done are the windows at Long School, the middle high school auditorium, and our security upgrades. But as I said, that was sent out September 4th to the entire community. I know Mr. Crowdy could probably answer about the gas leak and some of the other specific items.
Yes, the gas leak did occur. They were painting some areas of the pipes, and I believe they hit one of them. The pipe was shut down immediately. PSCG was called and they locked out the line. It's being pressure tested, and once it passes that test, the town comes out and inspects it. PSCG comes out and inspects it, then we'll open up that line again. As far as work on Sunday, we even talked to the roofer when they started working, if they could work on Sunday. They were told by the township, we found that out too, they cannot work on Sunday. So I'm not aware of anybody working on a Sunday. As far as payroll verifications, the contractor is required to submit them to me. I'm not required to obtain them from them. I just keep them on file in case the Department of Labor or somebody comes in looking for them. Those items could be open requested if someone liked to see them.
Mr. Quinn, can I just address a couple comments? There were comments made about the board or the administration not responding during public comments portion of the meeting. That is not a legal requirement. I actually recommend against that for a couple of reasons. One is this is a public meeting. We need to maintain some level of order and decorum. And also, many members of the public may have the same comments or concerns or questions. So it is a better practice to get all of the comments in and then respond at a later point, either in the meeting or if you needed, the administration needed to get additional information, you can certainly report back to the public at the next meeting. Kind of along the lines that I said earlier, I again want to apologize for those individuals who were personally attacked here tonight, that being the superintendent, business administrator, and I want to assure the community that I work with many school districts and you have the top administrators in your school district. I want to apologize. I see some teachers and community members. I want to apologize for what has happened there. I wish I could control it, and I apologize for a system that does not allow me to do so. I see at least one student. I think there were a couple students in the audience. With them, I sincerely apologize because I sincerely hope that what has happened here tonight will not dissuade them from volunteering. And I do want to emphasize that everybody on this Board of Education is a volunteer. They do not get paid for the community service that they perform. So no matter what your concerns may be, your dissatisfaction, anything that happens, you're certainly welcome to express that, but I do ask that everybody be respectful and do so in a respectful manner. That's the only way that we're going to teach our children that the system is worth and that it's worthwhile volunteering, for a Board of Education. Thank you.
Anybody else before I speak? Okay, I'm not going to respond to most of it, but I would like everyone to understand the $700 that he was referring to is for the New Jersey School Board Association's annual convention and workshop. It is a business trip in which there are specifically arranged workshops and learning opportunities for board members within the state so that we learn how to better serve our district. That is why we're going, that is why the district pays for it, is so that we can do a better job serving our district. Just so everybody understands that $700 he was throwing out. I'm not sure where he gets 9 tablets for $700, but at the same time, we have access to the information we need. I personally do not see the need for the district to buy me a tablet or a laptop. My last thought, I'd like to share a quote with everybody that I read recently. Unfortunately, I have no idea who the author is. I do a lot of reading and don't pay attention to the authors. But just because someone believes or chooses to believe or wishes to believe something to be true does not make it true, nor does it make it real. Anybody have any other comments?
Just through the chair, I was one of 2 board members that did attend the convention last year. you know, it was very helpful. Aside from vendors that are trying to, you know, introduce their products or try to, you know, maybe get a contract or a bid with our district, there are a lot of keynote speakers, both for new members, which I was, and members that have been serving for years. So it's money well spent because you can take that and bring it back here and apply it. You share ideas with other districts, things that work with them, things that didn't work. So it still benefits, you know, your children because it's helping the board, who in turn is supporting our administration in their decisions and policy and all that goes along with it. The second thing I wanted to say, as far as having tablets, you know, we're a society on our phone. All of my information is at the tip of my finger. I have emailed Dr. Katz, Mr. Karate, sometimes 1 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m., depending on when I get a chance to sit down and answer. And I say many times at the end of Dr. Katz's emails, you do not have to answer me right now. You can answer me during, and he never fails. His response is immediate. So they're using these cell phones and they're responding well above their hours of employment time. There's no stone left unturned. There's no questions that are ever left unanswered. Anything we need or we have to have answered gets done so almost immediately. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Through the chair, I'd like to piggyback as well on the training. Not sure if the public is aware, there's a lot of mandatory training that we have to do, whether we want to or not. So with that being said, that's also included in part of those costs. That's it.
Any other comments? Then, can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?